sorry, a bit late. I was the one who caused the lateness. Is because traffic and everything. Dominican Republic is horrible. Well, what's up, everybody? Welcome to another episode of Xbox International. Sorry, I had to rush through that. Sorry about that. But yes, we're now on episode 71. Sourblow, only 29 away to get to 100. Woohoo! Oh man, I cannot wait for that 100 episode. For that 100 episode, guys, I'm gonna wear a mankini. I don't know if Sourblow agrees with that, but I have to
Oh,
wear a mankini. What do you mean,
a
no?
what? A what?
A
Like
mankini.
like the Borat one?
I wear like no, not the Borat one. No, that one's not too good. Man. I don't like that mankini thing. I don't know. I like other type of mankini. But anyways, what's up, you guys? How you guys been doing? What's up with you, Sourblow? How are you doing, sir?
I've been doing great. Just doing some work in the house and stuff like that, but doing great. How about you, Crazy? We always leave you for last.
Me, I'm doing. It's been one crazy week, such a busy week, so much stuff to do, man. I'm tired, man. But hey, it's been great. Been having a lot of fun lately. Been just busy with work, busy with stuff at home. That's what happens when you move. You always get stuff. And speaking about stuff, Mr. Big Plume, how are you doing today, sir? I thought you were coaching baseball today to Dominicans.
It's too hot today. It's like 40 degrees outside. So the Dominicans are fine with the weather, but as Canadians, where we live in the winter half of the years, are not fine with the weather. So it's too hot. It's been interesting weather where I am, but overall doing good. Lots to talk about. So let's get into it.
Yeah, let's get into it. We got lots to talk about, especially what happened this Friday. Damn, that judge laid. No, it was on Thursday. She laid the smack down them candy. Okay, let's leave it up to that because we cannot curse. We gotta be polite. We gotta be nice and neat. No rated R stuff. Yeah. And speaking
Did did,
about,
did she though? I don't
that is
know.
that is
We're
the
gonna talk about
interesting.
that.
Yeah,
We're
we
gonna
gotta talk
talk
about
about
that.
that.
We got a lot of stuff to talk about, especially what happened with that FTC and everything, how it concluded, man. I have my doubts, and we got to discuss that. Especially that last episode we had. We had a lot of stuff to discuss here. I mean, that was an insane 3 hour episode. Lots of debating, lots of stuff, and everything was really interesting. And speaking about interesting, Sour Blood, tell us what game have you been playing interesting lately?
Oh my God, I've been jumping back and forth. I'm playing. Well, the main game I'm playing is Gotham Knights, which I have been enjoying pretty much. Um, I do have some complaints here and there. I do think the open world feels a little bit empty
Hmm.
sometimes and a little bit repetitive. But the main story itself and the main missions, pretty interesting. And some of the side quests are pretty interesting. Another game I've been playing when I'm upstairs with the kids. It's Fist. I don't remember the rest, but it's like a platformer. I would say is it kind of like a Metrovania also?
Yeah.
I don't know. But it's in Game Pass. Uh, it's very interesting. And I'm super surprised because it has a lot of customizations, a lot of different type of platforming. Like
Yeah.
it doesn't feel repetitive. There's a lot of things to do there, and it even has a story, which I wasn't even expecting that.
Hmm.
Lots of cool like cutscenes, and you even got like executions. The weapons not only like are to like fight, you also have to use it around the world to traverse and do different things. Very, very interesting game. And then the other game that would be like, my third option is Need for Speed Unbound,
Nice.
and it's fun. But it's not like the Need for Speed Underground that I wanted, like the old ones. I wish those come back, but yeah. What about you guys?
Let me ask Boom. Why have you been playing Boom?
I've been playing a lot of AEW Fight Forever.
Hmm.
Um, as we talked about, got made
Oh,
fun of last week.
I didn't know you got it and
Yeah,
you
no,
were
I haven't.
playing it.
Yeah, I've been playing it for. I played about 6-7 hours of it already. Actually, It's a good wrestling game. It's a lot of fun. It's a lot of fun. It really brings you back to like that old school style of wrestling game. Easy to jump into. Graphics are like cartoony-ish style, but it's a lot of fun. Gameplay solid. There's more that could be had, like in terms of the depth, I think, in terms of like the career mode and stuff, but I can definitely see them continuously adding to this game and making it better. As from what I understand, it's not going to be like a yearly release like the 2K wrestling game. It's going to be something they continuously update. But yeah, if you like wrestling games, if you want to feel like playing like a No Mercy style, it's definitely worth it jumping into. And it's not full price, but it'd probably be on sale super soon, right? So
It's
there's some.
What do you think about Road to the Elite, which is the story mode?
See, so it's like you play through 1 year of AW and different storylines depending on the decisions you make, depending on how many matches you win, how many matches you lose, all that type of stuff. I've played through 1 year already with my created character, and then you can go through with like all of the actual real wrestlers and have different storylines. It's cool. It's probably the game that I'm going to put the most amount of time in, just seeing what different outcomes I can get. But I do wish there was like a deeper career mode in it that you could just like sink in hours and hours into, kind of like in the 2K series. Maybe they'll add that at a future point. But yeah, it's cool. It's cool for what it is. It's cool for what it is.
That was my complaint about the 2K series and how it changed the way, because you have to like create a wrestler and then get into it. And for me, sitting down and create a wrestler, I'm too lazy to create a wrestler. I'm sorry, but I'm just too lazy to do that. I used to do that before, and it took me like an hour, half an hour. But damn, just to create a wrestler takes time. I liked how the old games were like, okay, you pick this wrestler and you just go through a career mode and you go through it, and it's a pretty awesome career mode, you know. And they quit doing that just by just adding the creative wrestler and going through this thing. I don't find it fun. I don't know about you guys, but I don't find it fun.
Well, then you'll love AW because that's literally what Road to the Elite is. You just pick a wrestler and you're going through like a year of wrestling, and depending on how well you do in each match will determine like the storyline that occurs. So you probably will actually like that if you like the old school stuff. It's essentially an old school like N64, like PS2 wrestling game, like that era with updated graphics and stuff.
All right, all right. And me, I've been
You crazy?
ah
I saw you playing a little bit.
yesterday. Yes, I was playing Evil Within yesterday. It was a lot of fun. You know, I'm right now in chapter, what was it, 6 or 7? I don't even remember what the hell kind of chapter I'm in, but I don't know. I'm almost halfway through the game. And man, it's been a lot of fun. I had to fight the 8-armed lady, and she literally almost kicked my butt. But at the end, I kicked her butt, so everything's good. I got my revenge on her, but it was good. It was good. It was a good fight. And man, it's a challenging game. It's not easy. It's not simple. I mean, you gotta
I
get
told
those.
you.
You gotta get those memory foams, whatever they're called. I don't even know what their name is. That memory green stuff. I call it memory foam. I don't know why I call it memory foam, but yes, I call it memory foam. You gotta get those memories in order to level up some stuff like ammo capacity, plus the shooting and a whole bunch of stuff. But anyways, though, it's a fun game. I'm having a lot of fun. And guess what? I beat High Five Rush finally. I finally got done
Oh,
with.
nice.
I got done with it. I ain't playing that thing again. No way. Nah, I'm just kidding.
Just in time for the DLC.
Yeah.
There's a new arcade mode that came out today.
Oh shit. I ain't playing that though. Nah, just kidding. I would give it a go because Hyper Rush is such a fun game. I love the fight mechanics. What I did not love about the game, and I'll be honest with you, is the traveling. I'd rather be fighting a lot than traveling a lot. I had to travel so much in order to get somewhere, you know? But
Travel a
yes.
lot.
Yeah, I had to like walk and travel, you know, in order to get to like the fight spots. You
Oh,
know,
like the bosses and stuff. Well,
No,
it's like
Yeah.
but it's not such a long game.
It's a linear game.
It's a linear game, yeah. It's a linear game, but either way, though, you know, I had to just walk too much. I found like at the beginning I had to walk too much, but then
You're just being
and
biased because that's the same thing you're doing right now with the game you're playing.
what?
You have to walk around.
No, I don't. I gotta fight some damn zombies that try to eat me up or suffocate
Okay,
me. Or
and here you gotta fight like robots. So
Yeah, but I have to get to a point to fight robots. In here, you gotta walk, and all of a sudden you see this.
you gotta get to a
dude.
point here too.
Nah. Come on, dude. No, here
Yes, you
there's no
do.
point. No, you don't. There's
You
it's
got you
always
gotta you gotta escape.
Wait,
It's the same. It's the
so
same.
what
no,
would you
it's
have
not.
rather, Louis? Would you have rather just like warped you to the fights,
I
or how would
rather
you?
like I rather like always have fights like like you walk a little bit, there's a fight right there. But in Hi-Fi Rush, I found like you had to at the beginning. I'm talking about the beginning, but then later
But
on,
it's all fight. It's just you fight
dude,
many
no,
creatures at
no, it's not.
first
No,
in
it's
order
not.
to get to the big
No,
bosses.
it's not because when you're going step by step, from when you start the game from the beginning, if it's your first time, you got to walk around a lot because you got to open up rooms, you got to look for the health stuff, the
Crazy,
energy stuff.
you're making nonsense right now.
I'm
No
not
sense.
making nonsense. I'm being honest though. I'm not talking bad about the game.
You're literally describing what you're playing right now, and
What?
saying that that's bad, but this is
No,
good.
no, no. This one's got no. This one's got a lot of action, and you can't evade that action. I mean, you gotta think. You gotta always think, evade. You gotta run. You gotta do a bunch of stuff. I mean, damn. But yeah, Hi-Fi Rush. Like I said at the beginning of the game, I found it pretty slow, but then action picked up, and it started to get a lot more funner. Like right after. Oh, I can't say any spoilers, but yes, it's like right in the middle of the game, it
You,
starts to action
you,
pick up, so it gets fun.
you know what you sound like, crazy?
What?
You sound like a fanboy that, for example, critiques, let's say, Sony games because of cutscenes, and then you love
No,
another
no, no,
game that
no,
has a
no,
lot of
no.
cutscene.
No, no, I'm not talking about cutscenes. Like I was telling you,
No,
you
no,
gotta.
I know what you mean. I
Yeah,
this is a different example. You're
I'm not.
critiquing Hi-Fi Rush because you
No,
have
no, no.
to
I'm.
traverse to get to a boss or to get to
No,
the
to
main
to a
fight.
fight, because you
And then
gotta.
you're
You
playing another game that you also have to traverse.
No, you don't have to traverse. You just gotta walk a little bit, and then you get a damn guy trying to bite you or something, or try to steal you. Invisible dude, a whole bunch of stuff. I mean,
Oh
that even
man,
within game is a lot of fun. I'm enjoying it. I'm enjoying it. And it's a hassle. It's a hassle because it's not
that game
easy.
is not fun. That game is torture.
Oh, for you it's torture, but I'm having fun. I'm having fun. I don't even know how the hell I got the puzzles last night. I don't even know how I did it, but I got them right. I don't know, but I got them right. But I'm happy though. It's a cool game. I'm having fun. I'm actually enjoying it more now since I'm beating it. Chilling with people online, real fun. But yes, it's such a great game. And Hi-Fi Rush, yes. At beginning, I found it a bit slow, but then action picked up, and I started to enjoy it more because the fighting men in
I-
that game, the mechanics are awesome. Are awesome.
Interesting. Before we move on, it's actually they're both developed by the same studio.
Oh, that's the funny part. Yeah,
Yeah.
Yeah.
that's the funny part. Yeah. Um, Anyways, let me see. We got a flight. So, Sourblow, before I go to the flight itinerary, is the flight itinerary updated?
Yes, it is. It is.
Okay, let's start. Okay, why we have been playing Skull and Bones flag? What flag is Skull
Oh,
and Bones?
Actually, before we move on,
Yeah.
I just wanted to throw in real quick. Lou, you might have said something in the past that might actually happen. This might actually make you happy.
I
So I got
know.
a news that the same developers that are making Skull and Bone, they actually started working supposedly on a remake for Black Flag,
Let's
which
go.
it would be smart of them if they try to, ship them together. Because honestly, Skull and Bones is not looking too enticing.
I'm gonna tell you something. Ubisoft gotta pay me for the damn marketing rights because I was the one who gave that damn idea all the time.
You did mention that.
I did mention that plenty of times. In order to get Skull and Bones working, damn it, you gotta deliver Black Flag together with it. If you deliver that with that, you got something because people are gonna buy Black Flag and try your shitty, crappy. Oh, can I say shitty? Oh, either way, I said it. But you got it to play your crappy game.
Banned.
So
They're
so there
making
you.
Yes.
they're
Oh, sorry. Go ahead.
they're making 11 Assassin's Creed games right now. So Ubisoft
Jesus
obviously is
Christ.
like they're quadrupling down on it, knowing that's what they're making all their money.
Yeah.
But yeah, Black Black Flag remake would be
Black,
would be incredible.
did he just say Black Flag?
Just stop, Lou.
He just made a Louis. But either way, though,
Anyway, real
yes, my
quick.
epidemic is
So
passing on.
so
What's up?
Ubisoft, if you're hearing this, give Lou some bonus if it goes well. Now, if his idea doesn't pan out, then Lou, they're gonna come for you. You're
What
gonna
do you
have to
mean?
pay them.
they gotta pay me because I'm the one who brought up the damn idea. I've
Yeah,
been saying
if,
it. You gotta bring out black flags so people can sit down, train through the ships, and
but
understand what black flag.
but if it doesn't sell good, then you have to
Dude,
pay them.
for me, it's the best. It's the best Assassin's Creed. I mean, I'm one of those. If it comes out, I'm buying it day one. If it includes Skull and Bones, I don't care. I'm buying it day one. Why? Because that game is so much fun. I mean, seriously, going on the ship, blowing up other ships, climbing onto other person's ships, caught in their, you don't cut heads off. I mean, you should have included that. But doing all that stuff you should have done and do in that game is so much fun. It's not boring. It's always entertaining. That's why I love Black Flag. It's one of my
It's the
top
best
favorite
one.
games.
It's one of the best ones. Yeah.
Yeah.
That was a launch game too. I remember playing on I think PS4 at launch. It's like
Yeah.
the only thing that kept me going on PS4. It was awesome.
Yeah, it was such a fun game, man. Especially when you get your ship to a grade and then you go fight those big loads of ships. I don't know if you remember that, Plume. I mean, those big ships you had to fight that were like they were like elite ships, and that was an insane fight. It had like 3,000 cannons, and you got like two
Yeah.
cannons. That was a
I
lot of
want
fun.
see. That's why I wonder with Skull and Bones. Like, could it end up being a fun game if they're able to get it to like that point? That's once you've built up your character enough. But we'll see. I mean, it seems like that game is dead on arrival, Skull and Bones. But who knows?
Okay, can I say a couple of spoilers about the game because I did see a little bit of the game though. I'm not gonna say from where because we don't want to get nobody busted, but I did see a couple things. Can I give out a couple spoilers? That's cool with you guys. Are you guys cool with that?
As long as you don't ruin the experience for
I'm
someone.
not going to ruin the experience because I'm just going to tell you what happens in the game, right? For example, you reach an island, right? And it's not like you can wander around like in Sea of Thieves, right? You can like climb rocks and go see your grandmommy up there and your mama over
Oh,
here,
but
Like Sea of Thieves. It's not like that, no. It's just, you go to an island, it's just a closed area, right? You
Yeah.
land there, you talk to this dude. Maybe I don't know what this dude's name is. Probably Pirate Jimmy Bill Bob. I don't know what his name is, but you talk to Pirate Jimmy Bill Bob, and he says, "Hey, go get me a spoon over to this island." So you grab a little boat because you start with a little damn boat that has like I don't know what kind of engine it has, but literally it's like it's with the stick. But that damn engine literally makes you run through like you're literally on a large ship. I mean that's a speed ass boat. You just whoop all over the place, and you go to the island. You grab the spoon and you take it to this guy, right? And after you take it to this guy, you talk to to Pirate Jimmy Bill Bob, and he says, "Oh, let me go get you something. Get me this." And then you gotta go grab and he gives you like a little piece of the boat, right? Okay, he gives you a piece of the boat, and then you go over here, and then you go little by little building the boat. But either way, where you go and where you land, is such a closed area. And it's insane. I mean, it should have been open, like you can run around the island and do all sorts of stuff. Okay, I understand you guys are copying a little bit of Black Flag, but in order to do that, though, put Black Flag in, like I always said, put it in, put it together, and that way, when people play Skull and Bones, they're like, "Hey, yeah, this game is okay," But damn, the side
You,
missions are dumb, though.
you know what's funny? Skull and Bones. How I know that they're just waiting for it to fail is that it was on sale. I think it was like last year. You could get it already for 50% off, and it hadn't even released. So
Damn.
I pre-ordered it for 50% off. And so
Yeah,
I'll probably
you
play it.
spent too damn much money. I mean, I wouldn't spend not even 50% off. I would
Well, I mean, I
spend
could cancel it.
$15 for that crap, man.
I can cancel it.
Oh, you
Yeah.
can cancel? Okay, cool. But either way, though, I mean, it's still a little bit expensive, though, because what I saw, man, like I said, I hope they make it better because seriously, it's just no way, no way. So let me go right through the flight itineraries and Sourblow gave out the news of Black Flag, which I hope it comes out with Skull and Bones. So yeah, cross fingers. I hope my marketing, if we can pay Sourblow, you got to write to Ubisoft and say, hey, that was Crazy Louis' idea. You got to pay him for marketing rights. Remember that. You got to clip that episode and send it to him. So yes, they got to pay me for that. I'll take $5 though, but it's good. Any type of change is good. But anyways, we got the FTC versus Xbox debate. Who won? That is an interesting question. We still do not know who won. But either way, though, we'll talk about it later. Fear of no Xbox Switch 2. Why is there fear of no Xbox and Switch 2? That is actually a good subject right there, Sourblow, and I agree with you there because, hey, if this deal does not go through, what would happen to Xbox? That's something, people don't talk about. And that scares me a bit because, they got 70 billion on the line and a whole bunch of stuff. Will they just finally give up on the console market or will they continue? That is actually a good question. And the Descent is where you can find us and all that cool stuff. You all know where you can find me. But either way, though, Sourblow, Why don't we just begin? I don't got my captain's hat, so let me go real quick to my notes because I did not have it open. Because yes, I know I came in late, and that's my fault. Sorry, guys. Traffic jams and a whole bunch of stuff came in a little bit late of work, but here we go. Let's begin with the captain's announcement. Since our sexy hot captain is busy with the car. Ladies and gentlemen, Sour has turned on the subscribe button. If you haven't already subscribed, please do. Please store your food and beverages next to your desk, underneath the seat, or in front of you. Please take your seat and fasten your seatbelt. And also make sure you have hit that notification bell. We gently remind that smoking, drinking are not prohibited on this flight. However, what should I say the however is calling black flag is strictly prohibited. If you have any questions about our flight today, please don't hesitate to ask one of our flight panelists. Thank you. Back to me. Let me do a quick shout out to the chat because
Let's
damn, we
go.
got we got 30 people in this, 33 people right here, man. Oh dear Lord, it's gonna be a long salute. Woo-wee. Let's go before we start this awesome show. Back from the dead. What's up, brother? How you doing, Dusty? G Wave. Hello, hello, hello. It's Timmy. I want to say hello to Sourblow. Sourblow sucks. Let's go down the list. Where it says Timmy. Talos, the man with the red. What's up, my brother? Talos. El único cocho. Cocho? What is a cocho, though? I gotta Google that. Aquí andamos a toda máquina. Thank you for joining us, Último Cocho. Reichi, what's up, brother Reichi? Going down the list, going down the list. Let's see who's here. Ecstasy's, he's here with us. Oh, man. I can't wait to after the show. Ecstasy's, we gotta have some fun. Jasque, what's up, Jasque? Hope everything is awesome with you, brother. Let's see. Silent Cypher, our sweet, handsome, sexy captain. He's like I said, he's busy with the car thing. He's not. I don't know if he's gonna jump in. I hope he does, but let's wait. So if he doesn't, either way, we'll continue on with the show. We love you, brother. Mr. Dark, how are you doing, sir? RWK88, what's up, brother? Always happy to see you here. Going down the list. The fifth horseman, the man who has 5 horses. And I have receipts. He does have 5 horses. He does. I have proof of that. What's up, the fifth? Joey Phantom Kraken, the one who destroys all those Krakens. What's up, Joey? Hope you're doing awesome, brother. Let me see who else is down here. Ooh la la. I don't. I think I said
You
hello
got
to
everyone? You
everybody.
got everyone?
I got everybody. So Sourblow, take it away. Let's get this show on the road. We got a lot of stuff to talk about, especially about that damn FTC and Microsoft thing. Jesus, let's go.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah. So, hold on, I always forget to change camera. Okay.
There you go.
So last week we had an amazing debate. We had 2 awesome guests. As if you guys saw the episode or if you saw the highlight, and both guests had 2 amazing arguments, or let's say theories. And basically, Purple Haze, shout out to her. If you haven't followed her, please follow her. Her theory is that the deal will fall through, not because the FTC will block the deal, simply because things will get delayed, and Microsoft and Activision won't be able to renegotiate. And as we all know, right now we have the FTC versus Microsoft hearing, in where the FTC had to basically prove immediately or on irreparable harm to get a preliminary injunction. On Ecstasy side, he thought that basically the FTC didn't had enough argument in order to get that preliminary injunction. In order to get that preliminary injunction, as Purple Haze was trying to explain, which I 100% agree with her. That's why this was such an awesome debate, was that the FTC just had to prove one of 3 points, which was basically harm to, well, there was the harm to console, the theory of harm to
Cloud
the cloud,
and the
and
theory
then
of
I believe consumer, right?
subscription.
Subscription.
I
Okay,
think it was the
subscription. Yeah,
theory of
my bad.
subscription.
Okay.
Yeah.
So for the console side, I actually have it divided in kind of 2 points, which was 2 points that basically the FTC kind of tried to tackle. The first one was uh, exclusivity, in which the FTC argued that the contracts are meaningless, uh, and their job as a government agency are not to analyze loopholes on the contract. In which Microsoft then responded that they could have discussed any issues they had with the contracts, and they could have came up with remedies, kind of like what the EU came up. In which the judge responded, Sony also does exclusivity. How is Activision any different from what Sony already does? Sony and Nintendo has far more exclusive than Xbox, in which the FTC agreed and said it's undisputable. So right there, to me, and this happened, on the final day. So right there, to me, that makes me believe that the judge is on the side that exclusivity is no harm. Um, yeah, go ahead, crazy.
I was gonna tell you something though, and it's something that Microsoft, if they would have said this, it would have helped them out better. Like for example, the cloud. The cloud for me is an option. I don't know
Well,
if
we're,
you
we're,
got.
we're gonna get to the cloud.
Okay,
We're
okay,
not
go
in
go
the
go
cloud.
go.
We're talking
Okay,
specifically harm to console and the exclusivity side.
no,
Um, Also, uh, then we have the FTC then said that PlayStation consumer could switch over to Xbox because of Call of Duty for foreclosure or partial foreclosure,
why do they care? But okay,
in which the judge then referred to Dr. Bailey analysis, and they talked. He talked about uh, the hours played in the Call of Duty and PlayStation. Basically, the analysis that Dr. Bailey did was based on how much time the users play Call of Duty and did it convert how it did not convert it to the 20% that they came up. So the FTC came up that 20% of the users will switch from the PlayStation to Xbox if Call of Duty becomes exclusive. And Dr. Bailey came with an analysis which show, hey, not all the players that
nope.
plays Call of Duty play like significant time. Like there's players that play 5 hours, 10 hours, and then never play Call of Duty again. There's
Mm-hmm.
players that might play 50 hours and never play Call of Duty again.
Right.
So if we take that 20% and it drops to 50%, then Call of Duty becomes unprofitable for Xbox. So it would make no sense to make it exclusive. Uh, the FTC cannot explain where they got the 20%. And the judge also referred to Phil Spencer comment in which he said if Xbox were to make Call of Duty exclusive, it would cause irreparable harm. She believed this was highly important to many of the cases in the past being surrounded by this kind of thing. And the FTC did not take this into consideration. So, right there on the part of exclusivity, I feel that the FTC had like no response. I don't know, Plume, if you feel the same way, but I feel like it was poorly done by the FTC there.
Yeah, I mean, I'm trying to recall everything that I thought about it, made videos about last week because I do the videos and I kind of push it back and waiting for the response here. But yeah, in terms of like the exclusivity side of things, the entire arguments have just been weak, I think, from the FTC side. And you could even see, I think one of the most important things that was signaled that was at the end in the closing arguments when the judge was basically saying that this entire case is to protect the consumers, is not to protect Sony. It's not, we're not looking at how much harm can be done to Sony, it's how much harm can be done to the consumers if the deal does pass. And I feel like the entire arguments that the FC have been making have been strictly really focusing on Sony, which is why a lot of people, when they're looking at this, don't think that they have an argument. One thing I will say though is in terms of the entire console harm theory of harm, I don't see how that's going to be something that blocks this deal. I feel like we've already gone past that. The CMA already ruled and said that that wasn't the reasoning why. The EU said that wasn't the reasoning why this deal is anti-competitive. Then there's the whole cloud thing, which is obviously the one part of the three main things that the judge is looking at to try to potentially make the decision whether this deal, whether they grant a preliminary injunction or not. That's going to be the most important one, I think, out of them all. Last week on the show, the other thing too is I didn't fully realize this, but it does kind of make sense. We talked about this. Blaze talked about it, basically that they have created the 10-year agreements, but we don't know exactly what's in those agreements. We don't know what the fine print is, and the FTC didn't actually sit down and talk about it. But I feel like why weren't these agreements brought up in court? That's what maybe some of the information about these agreements were in the sealed documents that we didn't hear about.
Yeah, they were in the sealed document.
Okay, so then that will be in my opinion, if they are in the sealed documents, the judge will look at that, and if they're fine, I feel like there's no argument that the FTC has. But I feel like that could be the biggest determining factor as to what the judge decides, right? So
the thing with the agreements was that the FTC now, they brought it up that, they didn't know and they weren't there to evaluate if the contracts are bad or not. But basically what Microsoft said is, okay, if you don't agree with the contracts, why didn't you come to us and we could have came to an agreement to fix these contracts in order for them,
Yeah, and there's
to
multiple
for everyone.
Yeah, and there's multiple other companies that have agreed to these contracts. So I don't feel like Nvidia and Nintendo, huge companies, would be agreeing to things if it wasn't in their best interest to agree to them, right? So there's that as well.
Yeah, and the last thing about, on the console side from the FTC was that they attempt to split the market into several tiers. Basically, PC on their own, consoles, which they only put Xbox and PlayStation. They put Nintendo on their own, and then they put live service and cloud, in which the judge went back again to Dr. Bailey analysis, and they said a lot of the gamers already own a PC.
Yep.
And the judge didn't understand why PC was not included if a gamer already owns a PC.
It should be.
And she also understood the price difference that the FCC tried to kind of explain, but she also stated that this is 2023. A lot of people have computer. She also didn't like their explanation on them trying to downplay the Switch to make it its own market. She even cut them out and said, the Switch isn't like any other console. In some way, it's better. You can connect it to the TV, and you can take it on the go. I thought that was a huge blow right there.
And sales have proven that for a lot of people, it's the go-to for out of all the consoles that they're going to buy. I mean, the Switch came out in 2017, and it still sells like crazy. So, yeah, I don't know why that's not included. It doesn't make any sense.
Well, I don't think it sells like crazy, because if it would sell like crazy, then it wouldn't sell.
No, true.
Like
You're right.
Crazy.
I take that back.
Sound like
crazy.
Me. What's
crazy.
up?
What do you think about the whole harm to console theory?
It's not gonna harm them. There's no harm to that. The thing is, we understand this is a business, right? And we understand that, for example, Sony has been doing a practice that people are now noticing what this practice is. And I always tell everybody, listen to the crazy one when he tells you this. And the crazy one, you gotta trust him when he says this. You guys gotta watch a documentary called Console Wars. You gotta watch that. That's actually an important documentary because it was about Nintendo and Sega. And Nintendo used to do these practices back in the day, but it was a lot worse because they used to tell third parties, if you develop a game for Sega, your game is not coming through us, through Nintendo. To hell with you. Literally, Nintendo used to tell them that. I'm not kidding you. It's on documentary. You can watch that, and that literally comes up right there. So this is a practice that's been going on for a bunch of years, right? And to have exclusivity on the console is not bad. It's a good thing because why? It's going to direct you to that game. And when you were mentioning about them going, oh, let me go buy an Xbox. Why the hell should FTC care? Damn it! Why should the FTC care? I mean, seriously, does the FTC get paid by you guys as taxes? Yes or no?
Not me. I'm Canadian.
Oh, you're Canadian, but I'm talking about Sourblow.
Yeah, they use my tax. Yeah,
They use your damn taxes. So if I got a PS5, which is something, because I'm gonna tell you something, let's be rational about this and let's be honest about this. If I have 500 games in my PS5 that I have bought, why the hell am I going to migrate to an Xbox, right? To buy again my 500 games already have in my damn library, right? To get to have my old games over here. No, I'm not going to do that. But what would I do? I would go buy an Xbox. Yes. I would go pay for Game Pass. Yes. I would go pay my Call of Duty there. That's it. That's it. If I want to play Call of Duty. I mean,
this was
seriously.
the entire thing that Phil Spencer said in the Kind of Funny interview.
Yeah.
When they losing the Xbox One generation, no one's going to go and throw away thousands of dollars in their digital library. They're just going to go and buy another console. They're not going to stop playing on the other platform.
Or what would they do? They would get a PC, or what would they do? They would get the tablet. And here's another thing, though: cloud is a damn option. It's an option. It's an option, guys. Cloud is an option. Cloud is an option that for us gamers, right? If I pay for Game Pass, same thing as I pay for Netflix, same thing as I pay for Disney Plus, same thing as I pay for what's another thing? I don't even know. There's so many things. Paramount Plus.
Hold your thought there, crazy, because I do want to get back to you when we get to cloud.
Okay, we'll get back to that.
That's the most interesting.
Okay. Let me take the console harm. Then there's no console harm if they want to put it exclusive. Why? What's gonna happen though? What Sony's gotta do is they gotta up their damn game and they gotta make a game to compete against Call of Duty. Can they do it? Yes, they can. Why not? They can do it. They got studios. They got all the companies that can. I mean, all you gotta do is you gotta sit down with EA and say, hey, EA, come here, buddy. Come here, Hoochie Mama. Give him a kiss. Say, come on, EA, come over here. Say, give me a game over here. What do I have to give you? Give me something that we can kill Call of Duty. And they can do that. Why do I say that? Because I'm gonna give you an example. What happened when PUBG came out? PUBG is a big example. PUBG was a challenge to Call of Duty. What happened when what was this other game? Damn, the one you love a lot, Sourblow, with the big giant robots, shooting at each other, grabbing each other's butt. What was that game called?
Grabbing each other's butt.
No, that game.
What game? What game did you play?
It's from EA, from Respawn. Oh man, I forgot. Titanfall. Yes, Titanfall.
You don't grab butts there. What are you talking about?
Yeah, don't you pull out like a butt plug and then blow up? I don't know what's it called, but anyway though, but you pull out something for the damn robot.
Is this Titan? Are you leaking Titanfall 3 or something?
I don't know. Oh, okay, but either way though, Titanfall was a game that actually changed the shooter revolution too. I mean, there's so many companies out there. That can actually make a great game. All you gotta do is sit down and talk to them. Like I mentioned, PUBG was one of them that made a challenge to Call of Duty. So you can do it.
Yeah, but let's be honest, crazy.
What's up?
Titanfall did never competed with Call of Duty. So
dude, it should have. It should have. Like gameplay wise and everything. It definitely should. I thought it was better, but no, it just didn't. And that's the huge thing. It's like there will be competitors to Call of Duty, but I don't think there'll ever be anything on the same level as it because it's just so ingrained in like gaming culture. It's like the same thing with like I guess it's not really. GTA 5, yeah. But
no, I get your point though. But you got companies that you can make something good, or you got to just sit down and come up with something like I said. I'll give you an example. Make a SOCOM. Make a SOCOM. Sit down, make a SOCOM, and I'm telling you, if you make a SOCOM nowadays, you make them how the way it used to be SOCOM, right? Like I'll give you an idea. This is another idea. This is one of my crazy ideas, right? Make a SOCOM game, kind of like what's this game called? Sniper Elite. If you make a SOCOM game like Sniper Elite, which is not a full open world, it's just a full open map. You got to use strategy to do this and do submissions, man. You got something in. And not only that, make it a kind of like a PUBG thing where you drop down or you get into your little dinghy thing and you land in an island. Grab your weapons, grab your stuff. Damn, you got
like
something.
Like a battle royale.
Like a battle, you can make a good battle royale with SOCOM. An interesting one too, for a fact. You can make it.
I think, well, no, I agree. I think like X Defiant coming from Ubisoft is coming out, and I feel like that potentially could be a competitor with Call of Duty. But I think what's more important is it's not about how good the game is. It's about, look at how many people play Call of Duty. Look how many influencers play it, and it's just literally pushed in front of everybody's eyes. So if a game like X Defined comes out from Ubisoft, which we're seeing a lot of Call of Duty people kind of switching over, playing it, enjoying it, if it takes off and comes viral, then you have a chance of competing with the likes of a Call of Duty. That's what these companies need to try to do if they want the game to ever sell nearly as much as what Call of Duty sells.
Yeah, basically the game could be a masterpiece, but
Yeah.
if it doesn't resonate with the masses, it's not going anywhere. Now, the game could not be as great, but if the masses, kind of support the game, then it could become bigger. So it's a hit or miss. So
Yeah. But either way, though, you got to, like I said, you got to sit down, you got to analyze, grab yourself, Call of Duty game, and sit down with your developers and say, hey, what can we do better? And who can we get to make this game better? I mean, you got so many options out there. You just got to sit down and look for it. And maybe you can do something that can change, because I'm going to say some shooters have changed a lot. If we talk about from the beginning, right, from first person shooters, I remember when Wolfenstein came out, was a revolution type of shooter, changed everything. Then came out Doom, which literally changed
yeah,
everything.
Doom really changed.
I'll give you another example. Unreal Tournament. I don't know if you guys played Unreal Tournament. Unreal Tournament was a big thing. I mean, I loved Unreal Tournament, especially to play online. Unreal Tournament was a shiznit back in the day. Unreal Tournament was freaking awesome. And then came Halo, which Bungie literally took over during that era. And Bungie took over. Halo was the thing back in the day when Bungie made it. They took over that era, and then you come out. Then Call of Duty started to make these games, and then you got Medal of Honor, which lost its track, which another game that also changed a lot of stuff about the shooters. But Call of Duty took over, went up, and made it more awesome, and that's why because Call of Duty is just, like I said, it's a name, but there can be a shooter that can actually be better. That can be out there, and all you got to do is sit down and look for what you got to do to make something for yourself to compete, and you can do it. Just do it.
Yeah,
You know.
yeah,
Yep.
yeah. I think we all agree that basically the theory of harm to the console, it was not there. It was never there, and the FTC themselves couldn't basically debate that.
Yeah.
The next one was the harm to with Game Pass,
Tuh.
and in which the FTC continued to argue that this could take from Sony business, and Game Pass could drive PlayStation users over to Xbox Game Pass.
Hmm.
In which the judge responded, "This is one that I thought hit them pretty hard.
Yep.
I don't understand why Sony doesn't do date and date." She also asks, "Doesn't this promote competition? Wouldn't it incentivize Sony to up their subscription service?" And it's something we've been saying all along. Like, wouldn't this promote competition? Lou, let's go back to you again. Like, we've been saying this for like forever.
Yes, I agree. I mean, this will make competition, and that's what we want. Us, all of us users, all of us. We are console users, right? I mean, if you did not look at the latest numbers of Sony literally for $70 games, they were saying, "Hey, people are not buying lately $70 games." So that's actually a jump scare for them. Why is that? Because in 3 months you get a special, 4 months you get another, 5 or 6 months you get another special, and people just rather sit down, wait, and play. And that's what something that people nowadays are doing. I mean, that's a smart thing to do, especially if you're gonna buy a game day one with a lot of issues. I mean, why the hell would I want to buy a damn game day one with issues? It has happened to me. I'll give you examples. Dying Light 2. I'll give you another example, which is the Star Wars Jedi. When it came out with issues. Look at that Batman. Oh Lord, let's not talk about that Batman with 30 FPS thing. Oh, let's jump that. But
Yeah,
that Batman, if you compare it to Batman Arkham Knight, ooh man, Batman Arkham Knight, I played it on the Xbox and I found it beautiful. I mean, sweet, still beautiful, still awesome, still fantastic. But yeah, man, like I was saying, up your game, up your game. I mean, seriously, put your games day one, and that's what I think Sony's trying to do. You know, they're trying to make that thing a long ways apart. You know, they're trying to expose it. Let's move it over here. Let's move it. Let's push it because once it was like a year later, then it was 2 years, then it was three. Oh, that's for PC, my bad. But yeah, but for their services, like after a year, they're gonna put it on PlayStation Plus. Okay, cool, we understand that. What do you think people are gonna do? They're gonna wait for that year to play that game because they got so many games that they can say, "Hey, I want to pay $70 here, I want to pay $70 there." So again, if you guys make your subscription service to compete, it will be fantastic because hey, I'm gonna be saving a pretty penny. And if you have an issue of the pricing, just put the price up. I know people are gonna fight, are gonna complain about the subscription price, but hey, at the end of the day, when you sit down and you analyze the numbers, you're like, wait a minute, Sony gives me four $70 games per year. That's pretty much 77 times four. How much is it? 28. That's what
280.
$280, right? So and the subscription costs what $200. I'm saving $80. That's how I will look at
Yeah.
it. If I do the math,
Plus you can play more games besides those
yeah.
four.
Besides those
But
four, and that's something you gotta do. You gotta get into it. You gotta compete because at the end of the day, guys, at the end of the day, what are we doing nowadays? I mean, who has cable in their house? I don't. I quit the damn cable. I ain't paying for cable. I'm just paying for internet. Why?
me too.
Because I got subscription services. I'd rather pay for subscription services. They're cheap and pay for the internet. It's way cheaper. And man, I can watch anything I want, what time I want, no matter how I want. And that's how I want my games to be. I mean, I want to pay a subscription service where I can play my games where I want, when I want, and I can play any game, that's on there that I want to play. That's how I look at it.
Yeah, I think whether we like it or not, unfortunately, for some, the future is subscription service, and you do have the option to save a lot of money. Until now, I hope it stays that way. They still provide you the option where you can still purchase the game, if that's what you want to do. But I don't see anywhere where subscription service is a bad thing. At least how it is right now. And I feel that when you have Xbox providing good content with Game Pass, I feel like that has put some pressure on PlayStation, and they themselves have
Changed.
provided a better service on their end. Look at
Yep.
PlayStation Plus. I've been seeing a lot of good months, and that's great for competition. Hopefully, Nintendo also does something like that. And at the end of the day, as gamers, like I don't care if I don't care if someone, like, if I get to play a game that someone else doesn't get to play it. I don't care about that. I don't care if the console or the platform I'm in sells more than the other platform. I don't care none of that. Like, as gamer, I just want to enjoy games, and I would rather have more people enjoy the games that I enjoy, because we can have great conversations about games. So I never understood that. Regarding the theory to Game Pass, I don't see it there. The judge didn't buy it either. I don't know if Plume saw it a different way, or if you want to add anything different.
Uh, I no, like I don't. I think the whole subscription argument right now, I think, is actually hilarious because I've been saying this for years, and I feel like it's going to happen. It has to happen. We saw numbers come out that were supposed to be redacted from how much it costs for PlayStation to make their first party games, like over $200 million. And that number is just going to keep going up, right? As they make them bigger, as they put more technology into it, as more people are employed to make these games. That number is just going to continuously be increasing as the hardware gets better. So at some point, PlayStation knows, they know right now, like they've probably already ran all their numbers, and they're sitting in their boardroom, and they know that there's like a threshold as to how long they can continue to just lock their games to the PlayStation 5 or to the PlayStation console.
Yeah.
So we will be seeing first party Sony games coming into subscription at some point, and I think it'll be like almost day and date at some point, and we will be seeing these games going out onto PC almost day and date. They're going to be doing the cloud thing. We've already seen Jim Ryan talk about how they're going to be going hard into cloud and trying to expand it. They have to be able to expand their base of gamers to be able to support how much it's going to cost to make the games that they have. So PlayStation, you're arguing, or the argument that Game Pass is anti-competitive because of first, like all this type of stuff, and the judge coming back and saying, why don't they just compete and put their first party games in there and stuff like that? Like that is going to happen. So there's no Game Pass isn't the thing that is going to, I think, stop this deal from going through, because PlayStation, as soon as whatever decision is made, we're going to see by the time at the end of this generation, PlayStation is going to look a lot more like Xbox in my prediction into how they are running their business and how they're trying to distribute their games. They're just going to have to. Just won't be feasible to continuously lock games to a console. And Xbox knew this, which is why they adjusted their whole strategy from 2017 forward. They were just ahead of the curve in terms of preparing for the way that the industry was going.
But here's the thing though, Plume, and this is something that I gotta bring up. The thing is that Sony is scared is, and what really freaks them out is all these changes that are happening. And the thing is, they're gonna happen now or they're gonna happen later.
They're gonna happen, yeah.
They're gonna happen. I mean, at the end of the day, they're gonna happen. Why will they happen? Because here's another thing you brought up. You said 200 million cost. But here's the thing though, Plume. What happens though? And we've seen this in the auto industry. We've seen this in a whole bunch of other places. What happens though, if they finally get the AI they're looking for, if they get the AI they're looking for to sit down, review the games, check if their games, what issues they have, so a developer can come in and fix it, right? Can come in and fix the issues where the AI has reported where the game is. That when you got an AI there, usually production drops. I mean, production costs drop because why? You don't got to pay a person to sit there. You don't have a person, to check if the game is if it's looking good or looking bad. Because right now you have an AI doing that work for you. Because after you have that created, and that's something that Sony's not only Sony's looking into that. I mean, a lot of these gaming companies are looking for that. Because why? You mentioned it. It's production costs has gone up. It's a lot more difficult to develop. So it's better for you to develop, and then you got an AI screening through it, searching for the errors for you to fix, for your games to release much better. Then your production costs might drop.
Yeah, I mean that could definitely happen. But what would be easier, trying to develop some crazy AI, or just give your games to more people that you know are going to buy and play these games? They'll probably do both, realistically, because they're going to want to make as much money as possible, right? So they'll probably have both. I don't see why reducing the production cost would stop you from wanting to make more money as a company by just putting your games and making them accessible to more people.
That's what I'm saying though. I mean, these guys they're looking. The thing is, what I'm seeing is they're looking for excuses, right? Where they don't have it, especially if you're trying to invest into something that in the later future is going to help you out with production costs. It will help you out. At the end of the day, AI does help. I'm telling you this because if you got like a company that's automatic, right, with computers and stuff, you don't have to have a personnel there. Of course, I feel bad for the people who used to work, because why I'm gonna feel bad? Because I don't want them to be jobless, right? But at the end of the day, it will help for your games to come out day one better. It will allow for them to be out there better, and this is something they gotta look for. And Sony has to analyze this. They need to analyze how they can raise their subscription numbers up so they can win money the way they're winning it right now. They got to sit down and look for plan A, plan B, plan C, which I probably think they do not have a plan B, plan C. They're starting to look at it now,
No. Yeah. And I just want to add one more thing. We got to remember too, PlayStation, they're masters at like marketing and keeping their core fans like zealots for their brand, right? And loving the console, the PS5, that stuff, and just like that's the end all and be all for them. Well, making them believe that at the same time, doing all of these things that they said they weren't going to do. Like, you even think back to the beginning of this generation, right? When they scrambled to put backwards compatibility with PS4 games in the PS5, when they first said that they weren't going to do it, right? They believed in generations. Obviously, they had to look at the numbers and realize, oh shit, we have 100 million PS4s and stuff that we can't just leave out in the dust, or we're gonna get absolutely destroyed by Xbox. And then they're gonna do this, like even with like subscription. right? They were essentially saying, "Oh, we're not going to get into this whole subscription thing and compete with Game Pass." And then they redid all of PlayStation Plus to compete with Game Pass. And then just recently, we're seeing Jim Ryan come out and say, "We're going to go really hard into cloud and all this stuff." So when PlayStation says like, "We're not going to be putting our first party games into PlayStation Plus," day and date or whatever, I don't believe them. I think they're just saying that now until they realize, okay, we have to do it, and they'll just do it, and people will just pretend like they didn't say that they weren't going to do it.
I also think that another thing is that I think the reason why they haven't done it, and they're probably gonna wait on that, is because the model on their games doesn't really help them with the live service game, because most of their games, people call them one and done, whatever, but they basically, you play the game, you beat the game, and then other than that, unless you really enjoy the game, you want to go back and play them, they don't have that playability that a lot of the Xbox game have. And I feel like they're gonna wait till they at least have one or two more, like live service game that keep people more engaged in order to start bringing, these games in. Because the thing with these live service game, like sure you're gonna lose money on like sales, but you also could gain like an in-game sales. Like look at a game like Sea of Thieves, for example. Sea of Thieves is probably one of the, if not the most profitable like Xbox game studio game. And for a lot of people that jumped at it at the beginning, they completely disregarded that game. But that game is a phenomenal right now. Like you check the player use and how many people play that game, and I'm sure they sell a lot of cosmetic in that game. And basically, PlayStation don't have that yet. Sure, they bought Bungie because of that, and now they have they have Destiny, and they're looking to build in with Marathon and all that.
Yeah.
But imagine if they start bringing in, if they would have brought in God of War day one on PlayStation Plus, Horizon.
Yo, it'd be insane.
Like a lot of the players would have probably jumped in, play the game for a month, 2 months, beat it, and then you can unsubscribe and wait to the next game. Like those games model doesn't really support that service game. As like if you look at most Xbox games, they do, because they have a lot of like playability, and even the single player games, if you look at them, most of them are like large RPG, like and stuff like that, and things that have in game like cosmetic and things like that. People might not like it, but since they're there on Game Pass users view them as free, like as a free game. And then if they want to support the game, they like it, they invest in it.
Sour, you mentioned something that I need to say. I do not agree with you there, and this is where I'm not going to agree with you there. The way they are marketing right now, that's why they don't have games day one in service right now. Why? Because they got people buying them day one. They got 4 million people, 3 million people, 2 million people buying them day one,
Yeah, but
and
that's not
oh,
really that much
wait.
sell.
But wait, that's not really much so, but it's money that's coming into their pockets, right? So here's the thing, though. It will change along the way, because this is what we're waiting for. And this is all of us as gamers. We are waiting for Xbox to bring in their day one content in there. And if their day one content gets good scores, everything is well, everything is awesome, everything is fantastic. Along the way, I'm telling you, this is what's going to happen along the way. Because I'm going to tell you something, though. They don't even need Call of Duty for this. And this is the truth. They don't even need to get Activision for this. Because if Xbox has good content to deliver day one on their Game Pass, and if people like it, people talk about it, and people, will yell about it, on Twitter, everywhere they go, on social media, everywhere, people are going to go and say, hey, let me look at this. Yeah, that's the point about gaming, right?
Yeah, but it's a huge difference when you
Yeah.
have Call of Duty there, and
But
you have people that subscribe because of Call of Duty, because
but,
Call of Duty has a large fan base, and
yeah,
then once they're in, they're like, oh, let me check this game out that also came out on Game
Okay,
Pass. I
I'll
Yeah.
give
think
you.
it's
I'll give you an
definitely worth
example.
it.
I'll give you an example. You saw Starfield. All of us have seen Starfield. The ones who are talking about Starfield, they have no excuse. I mean, I'm sorry, they have no excuse because I don't see something even though they probably did not look good. Oh, look at this! Oh, they were, the spaceship looks cheap. Nah, the fun factor in that game looks a lot of fun. That game looks it's gonna be a lot of fun, and I hope it does come to be a big fun game, especially all the stuff you gotta do. You put that game on Game Pass, and people out there, and it actually comes out with good scores. Like I said, it's a great game. People are gonna be out there talking about it and say, "Hey, this game is the bomb. You gotta play this game." What are you gonna
But
do? You're gonna run
crazy,
over there and play it. But
crazy.
wait,
I
and
don't
let
get
me
how. Okay,
Go
go
ahead.
ahead.
Let me finish. Let me finish. And what I'm trying to tell you is why they don't put their games day one in service. Why? Because right now it's the way, as they said it. It's working for us like this. It's way better. Why is it working for them like that? Because people are paying for it. So if people are paying for it, then they're going to continue that
Yeah,
until that happens. When that happens, when you see Xbox content comes on, it's good. You're going to see that Sony guys are going to start arguing about it, and they're going to have to change their train of thought. Oh,
crazy.
what's
I
up?
completely disagree with you because if things would have been working 100% how they want it, they wouldn't have been working on all these live service games. Like more than half of their upcoming games, I would say like a lot of them are live service games. So they're pushing because they at least want a few live service game that will be able to sustain, you know, the output that they do. Because like you stated, these games they make, people do buy them, but it's not enough because if you look at it, it's a small percentage of their
Mhm.
user base. And the same thing, it goes for Xbox. Xbox needs these live service game in order to make the games that we hopefully want to see. We'll see if they can do it, but I see them like a two opposite coin. Where like Xbox already have these games that have a community, and now they can use the money that those games bring in order to build single player games. As if Sony got these single player games,
Mhm.
sure they're great franchise, but then you're also getting to the fact where like, you know, what are we gonna keep seeing the same like 4 or 5 games? There's gonna get a time where people like like it happened with
Yeah,
Gears, like it happened with Halo, where
Halo,
people like
Forza.
we don't want to see we want to see new games, but then these new IPs, this is a high risk. So that's why you need the live service games
Yeah.
in order to
But
protect you from those risks.
here's the thing, though, Sour. If you look, we're talking about right now exclusivity, right? We're focusing on exclusivity, right? That's the point. But exclusivity, even though it helps, it's what you put into your service is what helps more. Because I don't say so. Look at the Game Pass this month, right? We're getting Exo Primal. We're getting a whole bunch of games right in there, right? And that's something that the PlayStation Act, like how the judge said it, they need to up their game now. That they up their game, they put more content in there, they put a lot more stuff. They get people more intrigued into the service because again, we're just looking at the AAA titles, but there's a bunch of double A. There's a bunch of independent titles, double A titles, a bunch of like I said, games out there that we would love to try. I mean, Vampire Survivors. I'm telling you, this is a big example. We do not. We would have not have played it, if it was not on Game Pass. I mean, we would have looked at it. Oh, this looks like this. Let's skip it. Now, when it was on Game Pass, it was a boom, and look how good Vampire Survivors did. So now, if you open your library and put more new games in there, so people can play them, people can have fun with them. I mean, at the end of the day, because hey, there's more indie games than there's AAA games. Why? Because AAA games take a bunch of work, and right now, and it's the truth, indie games are actually way better than AAA games. I don't know if you guys agree with me there, but that's how
For
I'm
for the
seeing it.
mo- for the most part, I
For
agree
the most part,
actually.
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. So they do that, and like I said, later on in the future, once Xbox games come out, once Xbox games get better, get their good scores, get their stuff in there, I'm telling you, Sony's gonna have to sit down and change the train of thought. Maybe not for this generation, probably for the next, they will have to sit down and change the train of thought and say, hey, we're gonna have to start putting
So
these.
you agree with me? What are we doing here? Okay. Anyway,
No,
let's move.
but I'm not agreeing with you. Is on you were talking about. I'm saying about the marketing, how they market their games. It's way more different than how Xbox markets it, because Xbox
I,
puts them
n-
on Game
I
Pass.
never talk about marketing.
Okay,
What are you
all
talking
right,
about?
all right, good. Let's continue.
Anyway, let's just continue. Um, so the next, theory of harm, and basically the last one, and this is the point where I think, Purple Haze is 100% correct. This is the one. She also did a video after this, where this is where the FTC could get their preliminary injunction, and it's because it was kind of on the air. I don't feel like the FTC won it, but I also don't feel like Microsoft won this part. So basically, the FTC argued that the gaming industry is heading toward cloud and that gaming market might not exist in the future, in which the judge alluded to this happened to like DVDs. Like DVDs don't exist anymore, and that right there tells you that the judge has her concerns herself. The FTC also said that they have no signs contract with Amazon or Google, which Google was kind of hilarious because Stadia no longer exists. But they have a point with Amazon Luna, and the judge didn't entirely agree, as she stated that the ABK content wasn't coming to any of these services at all without Microsoft, which it has been said to Bobby Kotick. So basically, they went back and forth with the whole cloud thing, and I thought it was not clear at the end for neither side. So this is the point where I feel that Microsoft could lose in the and FTC could get the preliminary injunction. I don't know, Plume, if you feel the same way, but what do you think about this the theory of harm to the cloud?
I think I mean, that's what the CMA blocked it on, right? That would be the only way that they would have to argue, I guess, as well. The same thing, that it's like a nascent market, it's a developing market, and that by doing this, it's going to hurt companies from being able to come in and compete, because they won't be able to get these games that have all of the players and that Microsoft is going to own, and Microsoft's going to withhold these games. But obviously, we know that's not the case, because they're offering up all of those 10-year deals, especially for Call of Duty and stuff. So I think ultimately it comes down to the cloud, but it ultimately comes down to what are within those agreements. Like, can they at any point just take the games off of these smaller companies and then hurt them in that sense and take all their customers, like stuff like that, right? I feel like that's what they're going to look at, and we don't know everything that was presented to us publicly. It doesn't seem like there's any theory of harm here, so it's all going to depend, in my opinion, what's in those sealed documents and how those agreements are playing out. And I feel like we talked about at the beginning, if these huge companies are accepting these deals, they're people are getting paid millions of dollars to look over these deals and make sure that they're in the best interest of the company signing them as well. So I feel like there's probably nothing crazy there. Microsoft's, for Xbox, it doesn't really matter to them, I would say, to provide all of these games to other cloud streaming services, because to them it's a win-win, right? Because for a lot of these smaller companies, it's bring your own game. You have to go out and purchase the game. Microsoft makes money off of the purchase of the game itself. And the smaller companies win because they get to tell their customers that you're still able to play these games on our services.
Yeah, I also think, real quick, something we have to take into account also is that the judge probably has little to no knowledge on how the gaming industry works, and she is receiving all this information at once. So at the end of the day, like Purple Haze mentioned, the FTC, what they have to do is basically just grab one of these points and just make the judge have a little bit of doubt in order for them to get the preliminary injunction, which it doesn't mean with the preliminary injunction that the deal is blocked. But
No.
what it means is that they're gonna have to go to court, which I believe it's on like August, something like that, August, September. And if it does happen, then Microsoft has to negotiate with Activision Blizzard. And if they're neither side is not willing to negotiate, then that's where the deal could fall through. So, you know, that's why I do think that, unlike a lot of people that say the deal is going to fall through, that's why I do believe that Purple Haze she brought on a great point and a great theory, and that's why we had such a great debate last week. Now, crazy, you wanted to talk about the theory to harm to cloud because, for you, it really affects you in Dominican Republic and your showers and all that.
Why would it affect? Why would
Uh,
a cloud affect? Why would a cloud affect me in the shower? I mean, seriously. Of course, I would love to play a game while I'm in the bathroom. Grab myself, play a game. Hey, Xbox, waterproof controller next, please. That'd be pretty cool. But I'll play in the shower. Play my game.
waterproof screen and all that too.
Yeah, hey, if that waterproof controller comes out, man, I deserve marketing rights, especially since Xbox is paying now. Oh man, I want to get paid for that. But anyway, that's jokes aside. I'm gonna tell you something about cloud. This is the part where Microsoft needed to say this point of view. Cloud is an option. Cloud is an option. It's not an obligated option. It's an option. Because, guys, cell phones, right? Same thing. I mean, look, you guys have a bunch of handhelds. I mean, Plume's got like 50 handhelds. Sourblow's probably got like half a handheld because, Sourblow's wife probably beats him up. But yes, all you guys have a bunch of handhelds. And you guys are taking your handhelds everywhere, taking it, where you want to go and playing your games there. And so when you guys use the cloud, it's still laggy, I bet. Is cloud still lagging for you guys? Or is it good?
It's hit and miss, honestly. Sometimes it's great, sometimes it's like buffering all the time.
So if I got my cell phone with 1 terabyte of space and I can install my game on my cell phone, I can play the game on the cell phone, why would I want to use cloud? I mean, why? And it's an option. I mean, it's only for like, okay, I want to try this game out because the benefits of cloud, of how I see it, right, is that I want to log on, try the game before I install it in my disk space because I hate installing a game and not liking it and uninstalling it. It's a hassle. I hate doing that, right? So I'd rather try it on cloud. Okay, let me play it. Let me see how it goes. If I like it, okay, I'm going to install it. And it works a lot more better when it's installed. Way more better when it's installed. So what I'm trying to say is cloud's got a long, long, long way to go. I mean, it does. It's not going to come like, probably Google had it. And yes, not probably. I never played Google Stadia, but I can imagine Google Stadia had it way better than pretty much everybody. But it's something that's ahead of its time. It's going to take them a while, to in order to put it just like if you installed it on your cell phone. It's going to take them a long time to do that. It's not going to be easy. So, go.
No, I was gonna say, like, I agree with that, but the question is, I guess, from the judge's perspective and from this whole case perspective, is that when the cloud does become something that everyone wants to use, if Xbox owns all of the big games, why would anybody else want to go and use a different cloud service? Which is why they were offering those agreements for things like Call of Duty. If everyone wants to play Call of Duty, why would anyone sign up for any other cloud service?
Well, because here's the thing, though, and this is the part where it's gotta be honest about this. They need to make back their $70 billion. It's not going to be like, let me just have this for myself. No, you can't do that. You gotta give it everywhere in order to make the $70 billion back. Same thing with when they got Minecraft. Minecraft was a game that cost $4 billion. You know how long it took them to recover those.
No, I gotta stop you right there.
What's up?
I gotta
What's
stop
up?
you. I agree with Doc. Yo, are you being paid by Microsoft? Huh? Why are you gonna tell me this?
We're all being paid by Microsoft. What do you
Where do
mean?
I get my check? Where do I get my check?
Oh man, what do you mean? Get your own damn check. What do you want to get my check for? Get your own damn check. No, I wish I was getting paid by Microsoft, but dang, I mean, really, that would be awesome. But I'm just looking at this. I'm not looking at this as like a Microsoft case, and I'm just looking at it as my point of view as a gamer, And for me, I had tried Cloud with a VPN. Cloud for me, oh man, for me it's got a long ways to go. I still don't have it in Dominican Republic. I still don't. I couldn't get my hands on a Stadia because I was worried if I buy a Stadia, will it work here? I don't know if it would have worked here. But seriously, um, it's got a long ways to go. Way
Okay,
long ways to go.
let me ask you guys this.
All right.
Do you think so? I think we all agree. Even I think even in Purple Haze video, even she agreed that this deal doesn't seem to consider any harm to console, any harm on the Game Pass side. But there's the question: are there any harm to the cloud theory? And I want to ask you guys, what is your thought, your personal thought? Is there any possible harm on the cloud side? Yes or
Hmm.
no, Lou? Tell
For
me.
me, I think there wouldn't be because once that technology starts running and you got all these companies running into this technology because everybody's running into it right now. I mean,
Wait,
you got
Lou,
what?
make sure, give me your answer. I'm going to put it right now where, Xbox won't be able to listen to you. So
No, no, no.
you still get your paycheck?
No, 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 no. I'm being honest with you. It's because
No, I'm just kidding.
you got all these companies investing into this. I mean, you got Tenchi. What is it? Tencent. My bad. Tencent. Tencent is actually basically a cloud thing. You got Amazon Luna. I mean, Google. We heard the other day we're trying to put games into YouTube. You know, there's so much stuff that we still still needs to happen, and when that happens, I know all these companies are going to be up to date. I know all these companies are going to have a good competition out there, you know to compete. And that's the truth. They're going to have something under their hands. And GeForce Now is, I think, is older than the xCloud. GeForce Now is probably like 2012 or 2013, I think it was, isn't it? 20,
GeForce.
GeForce Now, yeah.
Honestly, I don't remember.
Yeah, it's probably between 2013 or 2012. And then Xbox came with the xCloud around 2017. Why? Because they probably saw GeForce Now. They probably saw what Google was doing. They
Well,
were like, oh, let's focus on.
PS Now is older than Game Pass.
Yeah, PS Now is even older than Game Pass.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah.
and look how it did, because why they didn't focus on that, and they should have focused on that, and they would have been, way more further into the cloud technology than what they're doing now, which they basically said, "Oh, we're going to invest in this now." But like I said, I don't see it's going to harm, because what this is going to do is going to create more competition. That's something that we all want as gamers. We want more options, more competition to play games wherever we want. That's my
Well,
point of view.
obviously, Plume, Crazy is getting paid here, but
No, no, no. I'm
I'm
no.
playing with you, Crazy. I'm
Oh, okay,
playing.
okay. I'm
Oh my
talking about
god.
in general with everybody. No, no, no.
Plume, what is your thought on harm to the cloud?
No, I don't think so. I think like they're like we saw Google Stadia come in and leave the market. They have enough money, enough resources to be able to make something competitive to Xbox cloud gaming. They just didn't do it properly. They didn't understand how to like get in and make a service that people wanted. So no, I don't think so. I think there are companies out there that if they want to invest in cloud gaming, they're going to be able to invest in cloud gaming and be able to provide a service that will be competitive with Xbox. Probably may never be to this like it may never surpass it or anything, but to compete, they'll be able to do that. I mean, PlayStation literally just needs to put their games into a cloud service and it will be competitive
Yeah,
right off the bat.
definitely.
And even like Nintendo, imagine they did something like subscription in
Oh,
cloud gaming.
yeah.
I
I'll
mean, so
definitely
no.
sign up to that. But yeah, definitely. I think that I do think that it won't be any harm, but I also see the point of view that the FTC tries to bring, in which if it's successful enough, where Microsoft continue to go way ahead, and it becomes the service, and everyone else stays behind. It could be potentially harm, but that's something that you're putting up in the air. You don't know the answers. That's
Exactly.
something that you don't know what's going to happen. Like, they're taking all these risks, but at the end of the day, this probably might not even pay off. And at the same time, too, you have to have the first person take the risk, like the first company take the risk, and then there will be others. Look at Netflix. Netflix were the first one to take a risk, and how many other companies are now live streaming, and they're getting closer to Netflix numbers, if not surpassed them. I don't know. I think that no one has surpassed them yet on numbers, subscription numbers, but there are some popular competition there. So we have that. But
Yeah.
anyway, in order to conclude
Okay.
with this,
Can I give you guys a fun fact?
you can't.
It's a good fun. It's a good fun fact though.
Go ahead,
The
Chris.
one who basically, I'm saying basically, I'm not affirming 100% that started it was Geikie. Geikie was the one who basically started the cloud gaming base thing. And guess who acquired it in 2012? Guess who was guess what company acquired that? Yes, they acquired it. So Sony was the one who focused on that investment first, and everybody did. Yay! Because
I thought
it says here that GeForce Now beta launched in 2013 and it finally, came full in 2015. But Sony had PlayStation Now. So basically, they were the ones who invested first. Why the heck are they complaining on something they already invested in? Hey,
Yeah,
we
but
got you there, Sony.
you forgot the original guys who started this whole cloud thing. I don't know if they started it, but even before that,
Who was that? Say it.
On Live.
On Life. Oh, did not know about On Life. Did not know
I
about
did
that.
not know.
I did not. That's something. Yeah. But like I said, though, this thing has been going on for a while. I mean, we're seeing these companies coming from 2008. I don't know when did On Life start working on that Plume? What year was it?
Oh,
2009 it was founded, I think, or something like that. And then
Oh wait, but Geikie started 2008. It was founded in
okay.
2008. So yeah, so Geikie is the oldest. So these companies are looking into this. What happened was that Microsoft advanced. Why? Because they got the money, they got everything, and and Nadella loves the cloud. We know that for a fact. He loves talking about cloud. His thing is the cloud, 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 cloud. And Microsoft, of course, is going to be more advanced into that. But Sony, if you guys purchased that a long time ago, it's your fault. This is on you. I'm calling it on you. You should have focused more on that, especially since it was a good buy. It was not a bad buy back in the day. It's a good buy. But right now in 2023, you guys coming out and saying, "Hey, we're going to invest more money into this." I think you're like 11 years late. You should invest into this a lot earlier.
well, let's
Uh,
see. Let's see.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, anyway, I think we can all agree at least. Well, obviously we don't agree on the theory of harm, but
No.
we could agree that if there is a reason that the FTC gets the preliminary injunction is because of cloud gaming. But me myself, I think the reason why the FTC is going to be denied the preliminary injunction is because of three quotes or three things that happened during the final hearing.
Mhm.
The first one was when the judge said the harm of Sony is not what we care about. It's the harm to consumer.
Yep.
I thought right there that completely killed, the whole thing to with the harm to with console or the harm with Xbox Game Pass. And even a little bit into the cloud because, basically the FTC has been protecting Sony throughout the whole case.
Oof.
Then the second point was when she said that the FTC had already won because they made Microsoft sign these deals. So basically, what she tried to say there, like, you guys already like you thought that this deal, wasn't a potential like monopoly or whatever like, but you made them already like surrender. You made them make these deals. So in a way, you kind of already won. And then the third and final thing was while the FTC was talking about public equity, they tried to argue that harm would be done immediately if the preliminary injunction isn't granted because Sony doesn't have a contract with Microsoft for Call of Duty. And Microsoft responded, that isn't true because Sony already has an existing contract that guarantees Call of Duty this year release to PlayStation. So basically, one of the main things that, for example, in Purple Haze argument, which she, this happened after that, so she probably didn't have this information, or I don't know. I would be curious to see what she thinks about this, but she was saying that this could be immediate harm because basically the FTC just had to prove one of the points. But the judge reply right here makes me think that she's gonna deny it because basically she said, so if Call of Duty were to come to PlayStation this November, your August hearing can go forward. Nothing is going to happen. There's no immediately or irreparable harm. So basically what she's saying is like you guys don't need this preliminary injunction because yeah, it's not gonna harm Sony right away because they're still gonna have Call of Duty, and you guys could go to your trial on August, and everything could go. It could go your way, it could go Xbox way. You guys will have to prove it in court, but you guys don't need that. And for those of you that might not know in the chat, basically the preliminary injunction is just to prevent Microsoft from closing the deal anytime soon. So basically, if the FTC gets denied, Microsoft will be able to close the deal before the time expired, and then they will be able to battle it out. And they could the deal could still get blocked later on, but they will be able to at least close and then battle it out, and they won't have to pay Activision. They won't have to renegotiate, etc. So I don't know if you guys want to add anything before we move on to the next topic.
I mean, those quotes are all pointing in Microsoft's favor. I mean, I agree. It just sounds like she's sort of signaling what she's thinking, but it also could just be, like you said, she's receiving this information for the first time, so she could literally just be kind of speaking out loud before doing a deeper analysis into what she's going to do.
Yeah, that too. But to my opinion, if she sees no immediately and irreparable harm, then she just could say, I don't have to grant you guys the preliminary injunction, and you just battle it out. So let's see what happens, but it's gonna be interesting.
And again, they gotta bring back those $70 billion. That's something that people are not focused on. They gotta bring that money back, and how are they gonna do it? There's no other way. They gotta put those games out there. I mean, I'm sorry, that's the only way. Now if they make it exclusive. Will it bring it back? Yeah. How long would it take? Woo, I think our grandchildren will probably see that they recover their $70 billion. Probably by then they'll probably recover their $70 billion. Depends how long it will take. But dang, it's $70 billion, guys, and that's something that Microsoft has analyzed it. They looked at it and they said, "Hey, we shouldn't lock this game here. We should give it out everywhere because we got to get this money back. It's a lot of money."
Yeah, they definitely need that to pay you, Lou.
No, they don't need me to pay me. It's the truth, man. Hey, Sal, with $70 billion, us, the whole chat here, everybody, everywhere. I mean, I'm telling you, we can get 1,000 people in this chat today, and with $70 billion and 1,000 people, we can split it into all of us. We still be living peacefully with no issues. No, we wouldn't even work anymore. That's a lot of money, Sour. So they gotta get that back.
Well, anyway, to me personally, if the deal goes through, if the deal doesn't go through, it doesn't really scare me because at the same time, I myself, to be honest, I'm not super excited for the Call of Duty games. I was more excited for like the Blizzard games and maybe reviving some of the old IPs. But something that I do fear is some of the following points that I'm gonna give real quick. And I would like to know if you guys have any fear for Xbox, especially after some of the documents that leaked. So let me run through them real quick. So the first one would be if the deal falls through and they start going back for more acquisitions, but then they start delaying their first party games and the output is as slow as we've seen it. I think that would be pretty bad. The second thing would be um, competition having locked up everything while they were busy with the ABK deal. So basically, what I mean is, what if the competition, already made deals with all the bigger games, bigger IPs, while they were busy with ABK, and then when they go back, like, sorry, like, this is locked up. That would be pretty scary. Uh, and then the last thing, and this was really kind of scare me, and I'm like, wow, this is not good. There were some documents that leak in where Phil Spencer was basically sent an email to Catherine Gluckstein.
Hmm.
I'm not sure who she is, but basically in this email, you can see that he kind of was giving up on, well, had the at least through the idea of giving up on Xbox, closing the Xbox division, and focusing on mobile. This to me is very concerning because if Game Pass doesn't work, I can see them folding the division and focusing strictly on mobile, or who knows what happened. Like, this email is from 2019. A lot of things has changed. However, it's still concerning that to me that the idea was there. I don't know what you think.
Can I hop in real quick?
Yeah, go ahead, crazy.
For me, it's just strategy talk. That's what I saw. Like it's an opinion, and we did not see the other part of the email. We did not see the Catherine email first part on what she was commenting, and we just saw Phil Spencer commenting on this, you know, but we did not see the first part of the email and how that conversation started. So we got to see that in order to understand why did Phil go to the mobile part. This closes down. Let's get to the mobile part because remember 2019, right, was still Xbox One era. Um, we know that Xbox One did not do good. Then came pandemic, and everything for everybody, not only for Microsoft, for everybody, everything has changed. Their strategy, the way to sell, the way to market, the way to do things, everything has changed. After 2020, everything has changed, and video gaming became a bigger boom in 2020, and that's something that's truthful. I mean, we're seeing it in movies. I mean, we got Mario movie that came out, which was excellent.
Correct.
We had Pokemon, we had Sonic, which Sonic was woo, one of the best ones. We had that golden dude from Mortal Kombat, which was really weird, but yes, we got Mortal Kombat out there. That was I'm telling you, that was a weird thing. Mortal Kombat, I didn't understand it, but okay, golden armor dude, but okay, cool. But video games is becoming something big, and it's gonna be big throughout all these years. And look, Microsoft went on a crazy investment thing. I mean, they bought Bethesda was 2020. I mean, literally a year later after the 2019 email. Literally a year later, they came out there, they bought Bethesda, and they kept on buying studios. Why? Because they want to make more content for their service and for their console and for everywhere they want you to play their games. And that's something they want to do. So, what scares me the most is about what you mentioned, what could happen to Xbox right after this deal.
Yeah, it could be something else too if you have
Yeah,
anything to.
it could be something else. Like what scares me the most is will the investors change their mind if this deal fall does not go? And it scares me there because why? Because maybe Xbox can say, "Hey, let's pack it up. Let's get out of the market. And let's screw this. Let's just drop this." It can happen, you know.
Well, in that regard, I think it's a little bit different with Microsoft
Yeah,
because if you Microsoft as a whole is not really like, if you see at gaming is not their main focus. So basically, I don't think investors are gonna be like that, like into like, hey, don't invest in gaming or anything, like, you know.
they
It's
did
more
that.
like they give their full report, and like, I don't basically as long as they see growth, the investors really don't.
They did those sour when the Xbox One came out. They were yelling out to the lawn saying, "Hey, let's eliminate Xbox. Let's start something new. Get this
Yeah,
thing out
but
of the
that
way."
that was like
Yeah, that was that
completely
was
disaster. Like,
that
like
was
the
a
Xbox
disaster. Yeah.
One was a disaster.
Yeah, but that's
But
something that that scares me because this conversation can come up again. If this deal does not go through, this conversation can come up again, and it's an actual scary competition. I mean, a conversation. I mean, not competition. It's a scary conversation for us. Why? Because we as gamers, we're seeing this. It's a good benefit for us, and we're seeing now the PlayStation is jumping into this, right? So if they eliminate, Xbox, it gets out of the market, then are we gonna come back to this whole buying $70 game and probably raising the prices? Then it will be, games will get more expensive after that. If Xbox drops out, they will get more expensive, and that's the truth, you know. So
about
that's what scares me the most.
Plume, does any of this concern you, or do you have another concern that might not be listed?
Um, I wouldn't say I'm concerned. I would say that I, in general, I'm hoping this ABK thing does end soon, so they can start really putting all their resources into all their first party stuff and not focusing on this as much. And I get there's probably different divisions in Microsoft that focus on these things, so that may not even be something that even happens where they're taking resources away from the Xbox division. Maybe it's the legal division or whatever it is. I don't know, but in terms of the mobile thing, I think that email's from 2019, and we don't know the full context around it. Maybe he was just putting it out there as something
Yeah,
to think about and consider. But I think at this point, Xbox is in a very healthy spot, and obviously they know that in order to continue to grow it, they need access to the mobile side of gaming. Like they've literally said that's why they're acquiring this. So I don't think that's gonna they're gonna just give up on the Xbox vision and go fully mobile. I think their plan, like he said, is to just build out Xbox mobile as an addition to what they currently have, which maybe in 2019 they didn't see as much of a future with that because of the state of the Xbox brand with the Xbox One and maybe Game Pass, because I launched in 2017. Maybe it hadn't grown enough by 2019 and they were just looking at their different options. But I think at this point, unless they've been lying to us this entire time, seems like Game Pass is very healthy. Seems like Xbox is very healthy. The sales of even their consoles are pretty good right now. I just feel like they're just trying. They've identified of how big of a market gaming is, and I
Mhm.
don't see them wanting to reduce Xbox's market share in any way. So I don't think that they're going to give up on Xbox Vision anytime
Uh,
soon.
I hope so. I hope so because that's something that has got me in my head these past couple of days. Will we see again a 2014? Will we see that happen? Because if this deal does fall through, I mean, fall like it does not conclude. It gets denied. Could something like that happen? Because but
yeah,
that's something that it's a good thing to think about.
Yeah.
yeah. I mean, it's there. At the end of the day, I do think um, what this deal does, like being a $70 billion deal, it kind of seals that once if this deal gets approved, Microsoft priority towards gaming is going to change because it's going to be a main
Yeah.
focus for them because of the scale of this deal. They're going to want that money back, and they're going to be more invested in the gaming division. Now, if the deal doesn't go through, if it falls through, then it's a you know let's see how much Game Pass grow with the first party games starting to come in, and if they see that much potential. Because let's also remember, since Microsoft has more division, and Chat GPT has been picking up pretty like a lot. So that's something, that's why I'm a little bit concerned, because they can look into that and say, instead of investing in the gaming department, let's invest in the AI area more. So
Do you don't think that they would try to go out and just try to expand in a different way though if this doesn't go through? Because they did also just spend 7.5 billion on Bethesda, right? So
yeah,
I feel like they would. I don't know.
I feel like definitely, if the deal goes through, they're not gonna spend the $70 billion on the gaming division. I highly doubt that. This was an
Yeah.
opportunity that showed up, and it kind of covered them like everywhere, like even in mobile. If it
Yeah.
falls through, what I can see them doing is maybe investing in They know they need to jump into the like Japanese market or the Asian market. They might buy something there, and they might also invest a little bit more on mobile because they do want to jump into mobile. That's their strategy. But other than that, they can slow down in acquisition, which I'm totally fine too if that's their plan.
Yeah.
Okay, but I just don't want them to go full mobile or to abandon the gaming department.
Yeah, no, I agree. But we have to be clear too. Like, it's Xbox's strategy for mobile, but it's also Nintendo's strategy and PlayStation strategy. They both
Yes.
are. Nintendo's already expanded into mobile, and PlayStation they have a whole mobile division where they're having studios making games specifically for mobile. So all these companies know that, like, it's how do you reach the most amount of customers with the lowest cost entry, and mobile is that avenue, which is why they're all trying to get there.
And the funny thing is, mobiles are more expensive than consoles. That's another funny story because damn, you get an iPhone, it's $1,000 damn phone, and you get a Samsung, it's
Well,
$1,000 damn phone
it's
too.
also
Damn.
more cheap at
Yeah.
the same time. It's dependent on what you get.
But you also
Well,
need it to live essentially in
Yeah.
Oh yeah,
2023.
yeah. Right now, yeah,
it
it's a
does
living
other
essential.
things. So.
Yeah. Look at
But
the way it's expensive though.
anyway, just to end the show real quick, I just wanted to talk. There's a rumor Switch 2. There's a rumor PS5, with a disc. And now people are starting to say, well, Xbox do a revision. What are your thoughts on these consoles? Lou, let's start with you.
Oh, start with me.
Pot-
Oh man.
potential Switch 2 or Switch Pro, potential PlayStation Pro or PlayStation with
No,
the
with
with the
with
what is it, the
with
portable disc?
with the PS5 Pro, I have no doubt because they already got that name patent. I don't know if you remember. I think it was 2021 or 2022. News came out saying, "Oh, they
Damn,
patented that
wait.
name."
You,
What?
so you work for Sony too? Damn,
No,
man.
no, no. It was all over
You
the
got
news. It was
patents and everything.
no, no. It was
Lou
it was
has
all over the.
Lou has so many leaks and inside information today. It's
No,
nonstop.
no. Literally, if you looked at it on Google, you can find it. It says PS5 patent PS5 Pro. They did. So
Who
I
pays
don't.
you more, Sony or Microsoft?
That's
I
something I
hope
have to.
Nintendo.
That's something I'll keep my mouth shut about. But I don't know. So if PS5 penned that name, I can imagine that Xbox probably has a Plan B, Plan C, especially on the console side of things. And Nintendo, of course. I mean, it came out when 2017, so Nintendo needs to upgrade pretty soon, sooner or later. They have to. I mean, their technology is a little bit behind. It still works, of course. It's selling like mad crazy, yes, but hey, they need to upgrade a little bit. They need to make it a little bit more powerful, so developers can be a bit more happier, to develop there. Because I have read news that developers have been a bit mad about it. But yeah, um, those
Yeah,
rumors are actually, I'll be honest with you, it's going to happen sooner or later. We're going to hear about it. When, I don't know, but we will. We probably won't see a PS5 Pro. We probably won't. We probably won't see a PS5 Slim, which news broke out. I think it was yesterday. Oh, working on PS5. We probably will, probably will not, because we've seen PS5, PS Slim since PS1. I think. Could I be wrong, or
I
PS2s?
think we are gonna see next the
Yeah.
PlayStation 5 Slim.
Yeah,
Rumor.
yeah, partly so, or partly the Pro, because hey, why not? Upgrades are always good if it's in a good price, and if you want to get it, go
I,
get it. You
I
know.
don't think the Pro, but anyway, real quick, if you want to know the answer, let's go with Plume because Plume he already has the Switch 2 in his house.
Oh, my God! Already got Someone's got the Switch 2 in his house.
we won't even be talking about a PS5 Pro after you've touched the Switch 2. I'm telling you.
He's playing with it right now. Look. So Plume, what do you think about all this?
I hope a PlayStation 5 Slim comes out. I don't even care about the PS5 Pro because I don't even use my PlayStation 5 enough to care to like invest another. They'll probably price it at like 800 Canadian dollars. But if they have a PS5 Slim for like $400 and I could sell that big ugly ass gargantuan console and get the Slim version, I will be very happy.
Yeah, you know what's sad if the rumors are true, because the Slim version supposedly is coming with like with a disc like that you can kind of like take out. If
Yeah.
but it's you can't use it on the PS5 digital, which kind of
Huh.
it sucks because it's like
That would be terrible.
let's say if you were to get it, for example, you could if you only play digital and you wanted to make some money back, you could sell it to someone that has the digital that wanted
Yeah.
this, and you get some money back. But I don't know, Sony being Sony, I guess. But how about like a pro version for PlayStation or maybe Xbox? Do you see that, Plume?
Um, it's hard. I think if one does it, the other one will have to counter. Like, I think
Yeah.
if PlayStation comes out with a more powerful console than the Series X, I think it kind of forces Xbox's hand to put something out there, because then they literally lose their entire marketing of being the most powerful console. And then I don't know. I just feel like if PS5 does it, they'll have to. It just seems really weird this generation for a mid-gen refresh to come out when we haven't even. We don't like. I don't know about you guys, but I don't feel like these consoles have really given us that next generation experience yet. It's essentially been a small upgrade from the Xbox One X and the PS4 Pro in terms of the gaming. There's obviously 60 FPS, but like nothing has just completely blown this generation away. So it just feels weird to put out a more powerful console at this point. It just is. I don't know.
Yeah,
I think
I
there's still a lot
agree.
to go.
I agree. I don't think right now there would be like a pro version of any of them. It doesn't make sense. Like, there were chip shortages. We just
Yeah.
got to get the consoles again. And also, like you said, like we haven't seen the full potential of either of these consoles, I
Nope.
feel. I feel like a lot of these developers, they just been trying to get the games as fast as they can because they got to make the money back. And that's why you see a lot of these games coming with issues. A lot of these issues are more like basically developers needing more time to actually finish the game fully. And as developers get more comfortable with this new hardware that is significantly, you know, more powerful than the previous generation, and you also have like new tools and all that, I think they're gonna get better. Unfortunately, who knows if even when this generation is over, if they're gonna be able to max the potential of these hardware. But I think it doesn't make sense right now. Also, we just saw the console price go up. So why would you then release a more expensive console? To me, it doesn't
Yeah.
make sense.
It's like almost the in certain parts of the world it'll be pricing a lot of people out if they put out a pro console. Like it'll be more expensive than obviously what's out there now. It's like $500 for a Series X or 650 now in Canada for a Series X
Yeah.
and a PS5.
I think we'll probably see it in 2025, close to that. That's probably the year if they're going to do something, that's probably going to be the year for it. That's what I think, because since they were talking about 2028 will be the time where they switch, they
Yeah.
switch to a new generation. Probably they will do the same thing with how they did with this with the Xbox One X and the PS4 Pro. I think PS4 Pro was in 2016, then we got the Xbox One X in 2017, I think it was,
Huh.
and then generation came in and switched. So it could probably be by then.
My thing is, if it's like, if they have to push it 2025, 2026, and unless they're gonna push, they're gonna prolong more the generation, what would be the point then? Why not just, you know, release the new gen console and just
Because
wait it out? Because you're gonna lose money on the new hardware, and then at the end of the day, most people don't actually get you know, they get it later on. Like it's mostly like the hardcore consumer that go right away and purchase
yeah,
every time there's a more powerful console or more powerful device.
yeah, but like I said though, I mean, if they do it, just saying it'll be 2025, 26. It won't affect the new generation. It will affect the next gen because we're still in this gen. It was going to be a console for this gen. Of course, it probably give us more power. Probably see games playing in
Yeah,
40K. Stuff
yeah.
like that.
the
Yeah.
last thing, the other thing too, why I think it doesn't make sense, especially for Microsoft, is because they're using the Series X for cloud, and we know for a fact they even have said it that that's why we have been unable to find the Series X so easy because they're using a lot of them for their servers. So what are you gonna do if you do like a pro version? You're gonna remove those Series X and then update them to Pro, or then you're gonna like it. To me, it doesn't make sense. I think they should just finish the generation and make sure that their developers and the third party developers learn to use these tools so that at least by the end of this generation they're familiar, and then when you go to the next generation you use a similar
Bec-
developing structure
Because
than what you have.
here's the thing, though, and people seem to forget when you look at the specs on these consoles, right? You look at the PS5, you look at the Series X, right? When you look at these consoles, they literally tell you they should run at 4K native 60 FPS. And
That's
look
what they
what
tell you, but
that's what they tell you, yeah. But look at the games we're actually getting delivered. We're getting games at probably native 4K at 30 FPS. But if you go to 1080p and 60 FPS, native, it runs perfectly fine. And it's still, it's like you said, it's gonna take them a while. It's gonna for these developers to sit down because the technology, as Puma said, is expensive, and man, it's gonna take them a long time. But if they do release something mid-gen, it's gonna be because PlayStation actually released something. That's gotta be because again, they have to count it because they say if PS5 Pro comes out and is a lot more powerful than the Series X, of course Xbox has got to come out with something else, to counter. They're gonna have to. They're gonna have to
yeah.
because they gotta
Well,
compete.
Lou, it's basically 9. I don't
Okay.
get paid by Xbox, you do, but since I don't get paid, I kind of have to go. So okay, we
What?
kind of have to land the plane.
All right, let's land this plane. We are done, and I hope. Wait, when is July 12th? Because that's gonna be the fun. Oh, it's gonna be Wednesday. I hope we finally get that decision by this Friday. Let's cross our fingers our anxiety just our desperation literally just ends right there. Let's see what happens by this Friday. I hope that actually the judge comes out and says, "Hey, Microsoft won," or "Hey, they get permanent injunction." Let's just wait and see. Hope it's this Friday, not the 12th, because dang, I want to get this over with. And man, great episode, you guys. It was a lot of fun, a lot of good, cool talks, a lot of debates, way awesome stuff. Happy that y'all, Plume, for joining us tonight. I know you like to coach Dominican baseball players, and I know you've been busy with that stuff. But hey, man, so happy you can join us. And let's start with you, Plume. Tell everybody where they can find you, sir.
You can find me on YouTube. You can find me on Twitter, Plume Network. Yeah, the spots you guys know. But yeah, it was great conversation tonight, guys. So it was fun.
All right, all
Yeah.
right. And now for Mr. Lionel Richie, who's on top of me with the Batman hat, which he hides his Lionel Richie hair. Please tell everybody where they can find you, sir.
All right. Well, you can find me here, of course, every Wednesday, but you can also find me Twitter, Sourblow18. And you can find me on Xbox, Sourblow18. I'm actually going to play Halo with Ecstasies and more people, so you're welcome to join after this. And you can also find me Fridays at Xbox International en Español with Eternal Shaddai, ASCAP Gaming. Sometimes I'm not there, but fully support those guys. They're great guys, and basically, uh, they provide, the gaming news in Spanish.
All right, all right, all
What about you,
right.
crazy dude? Where can we
Oh,
find you?
oh, simple and easy. But first things first, let me say, chat, you guys kept this thing rocking and rolling. Love you guys. You guys are awesome. Great opinions out there. Great thoughts. All the things you put on that chat, you guys are fantastic. Love you all to death. Always do. Man, if you haven't subscribed, subscribe, really, and hit that like button, hit that bell. We really do appreciate it, brothers. Really do. You guys are awesome. Love y'all for that, for joining us each and every single Wednesday. Where you can find the crazy ones, simple and easy. You can find me at Twitter, Crazy Louis Gaming, where I say good mornings and do all sorts of stuff. Yes, lately I know I've been, hey, I've been, guys, guys, I know I've been moving, but yeah, I'll get organized again. Trust me, I'll get organized. And lately, all the news has been FTC, and why would I go good morning video saying the same thing each and every? When will be the day when the judge decide? But yes, either way though, you can find me on Twitter Mondays at 12 p.m. noonish. You can find me at the Xbox Lunch Break Special over there, the Double Barrel Gaming YouTube channel with Mr. Boomstick, Mr. Fuzzy Belvedere, and Mr. Web Dave. Tuesdays and sometimes in the week, I play scary games here on the Xbox International Podcast channel, where you can join me and watch me be scared and jump around. You guys enjoy it. And last but not least, find me here on Wednesdays at 7 p.m. ET with Sourblow, the Big Plume, and our sexy, handsome captain, which is not here today because he had a little bit of car issues. But either way, Captain, we love you, Mr. Silent Cypher. You can find us here 7 p.m. ET, talking about what's going on each and every single week about the gaming world. So yeah, guys, remember.
Real quick.
What's up?
Since you get paid by Microsoft, right?
Yeah.
Are you hinting? No. Are you hinting with that Dreamcast in the back? Something?
Oh.
What are you trying to hint? Oh, exclusive breaking news.
That's the next prototype.
Confirm.
That's the next prototype. That's the prototype right there, baby. That's the next, Xbox Series TT, not XX. It's gonna be a GT. That's the
Sega
Xbox
acquisition. Sega acquisition. You heard it here first.
Sega acquisition. I don't think they will go for a buy like that. I don't know.
You're trying to deny it now, right?
I hope so. I would love for them to get Sega, because Sega's got a lot of good games, especially Alien games, man. I love those Alien games. Sega makes them awesome. Except for Colonial Marines, which was horrible. Damn it. Damn you, Colonial Marines. But either way, I loved it, though. But anyways, guys, like I always say, hit that like button, hit that subscribe button, and also hit that bell so it can tell you when XBI content comes on. And remember, let's go, let's rock, and when will this FTC Microsoft CMA end? Yes! See y'all next Wednesday. Bye, guys. Yeah. Love y'all. It was fun. Have a good night.
Goodbye. All right.
Ladies and gentlemen, we've arrived at our destination. For your safety and comfort, please remain seated with your seatbelt fastened until the captain turns off this live stream. On behalf of Xbox International, I'd like to thank you for joining us on this trip, and we're looking forward to seeing you aboard next Wednesday at 7 p.m. Eastern Standard Time.